Good afternoon everyone, my name is Penny Kazla. I'm from the South Australian Country Fire Service, the Communication and Engagement Unit. I've been asked today to do a talk about horses and bushfires. This is a session that I have been doing with Julie Fiedler from Horse SA for probably about 3 or 4 years now. This is the first time I've done it on Facebook, so bear with me. I've got about a 2-hour presentation that I've condensed down to about 20 minutes. So I am going to move through this fairly quickly, but there's opportunity for any of our team to come out to your homes afterwards and help you prepare for bushfires. So I'll talk a little bit about that a bit later. So basically today I'm just going to really quickly go over bushfire behaviour and also the fire danger ratings and what they mean and how you can prepare your home, especially if you have a horse on your property. Our volleys attend up to 2,000 fires a year, every year in the state of South Australia. So we are attending fires more often than you would probably be aware of. The reason why we're in a bushfire prone area is because of our wet winter and our hot dry summers. Most of our fires do occur around that fire season, roughly November to April, but we do have fires sometimes earlier than that and occasionally later than that as well. We're in one of the most bushfire prone areas because of the climate, so those hot, dry, windy summer days that we get, the topography, so the hills and the valleys that we live in, and of course out on the flats where there are a lack of hills and valleys, fires can move very quickly under the influence of wind. And also the fuel around our properties. This photo was actually taken by Sandy Doig up in the Adelaide Hills. There was a burn off going on behind her property, so she wasn't worried about that too much. She was keeping an eye on it, obviously, but interestingly the horses didn't know it was a prescribed burn and not an out of control bushfire. But there's an interesting amount of learning out of that, that if you've got these things going on around you, you can use them as opportunities to start to get your horses used to these kinds of events. Our local brigades each attend about 20 bushfires every year in their local area, so that's about 20 times a year that your property could be impacted by fire. This photo is from Catherine Zale from the Eden Valley fire. She came back after the fire to find all her fences were down. So really important to identify your horses before an emergency occurs. All fires need fuel to burn. It's the fine fuel that actually allows the fire to spread. So that's what we're most concerned about, and in terms of managing your property, that's where you should be focusing on trying to reduce your fine fuels around your home. So have a think about what kinds of flammable plants you might have around your home and horse paddocks and in your horse paddocks right now. Most people can think fairly quickly of the obvious ones. We've got gum trees, pine trees, olive trees, but also think about what's in your garden. So things like lavender bushes, anything with a high oil content is likely to burn pretty well. What's a high risk day look like? You probably already know the answer to this one. We really don't need to tell you this. It's hot, dry and windy essentially. So when it's hot, dry and windy and the fuel is dry and ready to burn, we will put out a fire danger rating based on the information that's been forecast by the Bureau of Meteorology. That fire danger rating you've probably seen before, so catastrophic's right at the top of the scale there. A total fire ban kicks in down here at severe. So it's not a predictor of fire, but actually a predictor of fire behaviour, and it basically talks about what the weather is likely to do the next day. We know that under hot, dry and windy conditions, fires are really hard for us to contain. They're really hard for us to put out the higher they go up the scale. And they're also really hard for you to fight against, and they're also hard for us to predict and tell you what they're doing and where they're going. So it gets harder and harder for us to put out accurate and timely warnings as well as this fire behaviour goes up the scale. We would strongly suggest that you link your bushfire survival plan to the fire danger rating the next day. So that can be your trigger. The next day you hear it's going to be severe, you might open your internal gates and take your horse's rugs off. The next day you hear it's going to be extreme, you might open your internal gates, take your horse's rugs off, and also fill up your gutters and wet down the garden area around the home. Under catastrophic conditions, you might say, look, my actions are going to be offload my horses out of the high risk area and into a lower risk area for the next day. We've got some really detailed information about how to link your fire danger ratings to your bushfire survival plan. It's in all of our brochures and it's also on our website, so we'd really recommend that you get familiar with those fire danger ratings. Just remembering they are a weather forecast, so the fire danger may actually increase or decrease during the day if the winds come in stronger than what were forecast, for example, or don't come in quite as strongly as was forecast. The main ways that bushfires spread, three main ways there: direct flame contact, also radiant heat, but the one down the bottom is our main concern, the spark and embers. So the embers can start arriving up to half an hour before the fire front itself, and they can be around in an area that's been impacted by fire for days, even weeks, occasionally months afterwards. So they're the main issue for us. They also get picked up with the fire and dropped down in front of the fire, and under some conditions they can be travelling up to 20 kilometres ahead of the fire front. So you might have a main fire back here and you've got a spot fire starting 20 kilometres away. So hence we really want people to start enacting their bushfire survival plans early and not waiting for a fire to be nearby before they do something. Houses burn down for three main reasons: direct flame contact, the radiant heat, but the main reason is actually through embers. So what you're looking for around your buildings and your horse buildings is trying to stop those little embers about the size of my little finger from getting into your building or under your building. I have got a couple of photos coming up, so if anyone has been fire affected and they want to look away now for a few seconds, now would be a good time to look away. So that's just an example of embers that was taken out of a car window during the Canberra fires. You can see there's thousands of small little pieces of fuel, so pine bark, mulch, sticks and twigs and things like that, very easy to get airborne, and they're pelting through the air at a rate of knots. We've spoken to our volunteer fireys about this, and one of them said to me, it's like being in a hailstorm with the hail on fire. So you can see this house unfortunately was lost during a bushfire, but still green lawn out the front here. Embers drove straight in underneath that raised decking and burnt the house down. This is an example of, some of you may have seen this, it's a doormat. So this was a core doormat sitting here on this timber decking. Embers landed on the doormat, sat there for a few minutes, set the doormat on fire, set the house on fire. Another one here, for those of you who've been to our presentations before, you may have seen this. This is what's left of somebody's mop. So it was a wet mop that morning. They'd mopped the floors, left the mop leaning up against the back of the house. Embers had landed in it, dried it out, set it on fire and set the house on fire. So the moral of that story is don't mop your floors in summer. Alright, that one's a towel that was left on the handrail there to dry off. Again, something simple, caught on fire and set the house on fire. So in terms of managing fires around your property, we can't stop a fire from coming to your property if you live in an area where you're surrounded by fuel, but what you can do is remove the fuel. That's the main thing we'd like you to focus on. Another photo here from Penny Kazla from the Eden Valley fire. This horse was left in what we call the Jenny Craig paddock and survived that fire despite the fact that everything around that paddock did burn. So think about reducing and managing fuels around your home and horse areas and stopping embers from getting into those important buildings as well. We suggest having nothing that will burn within 2 metres of your home, creating breaks so we don't have a continuity of fuel leading up to a building. We've got a bit of fuel, there may be some paving and then some fuel and then some rocks or gravel or something like that, so that we don't have fuel building. Think about what aspect your home is on, whether it's on the top of a hill or the bottom of a valley and things like that. And then we look at managing vegetation within 20 metres of the home. So that doesn't mean nothing, that just means managing what's there. So creating those breaks, perhaps trimming lower limbs so that you're also creating breaks in the fuel for a vertical effect as well. Embers are about the size of my little finger or the size of a mouse here, so think again about how you might be able to seal any gaps on your home and stables. Think about particularly roof spaces, so air conditioners, vents, whirligigs, keeping your gutters clean and things like that. We can go into this a lot more, but obviously I'm on a bit of a time frame now with this today. This is from the Eden Valley Fireground. You can see all around that house got burnt, but they had a really good bushfire survival plan. They'd done lots of ember proofing on that property. They had a sprinkler system around the house paddock and everything was very lowly grazed. And as you can see, they were able to save the house. So I know you hear this all the time, but we really would recommend that you have a bushfire survival plan. That's even if you work in a bushfire prone area or live in a bushfire prone area. Often people I speak to, they live down in the suburbs, but they might have a horse registered up at Inglewood or go riding regularly down near Victor Harbour or something like that. So think about having your bushfire survival plan, linking it to your fire danger rating. And then the bad news is we actually want you to have two. We know from Black Saturday that a lot of people who just had the one plan tried to enact that one plan and got themselves into trouble. So they may have had a really good stay and defend plan, all the right equipment, knew what they were doing, and they were out shopping when the fire started. Flip side of that, a lot of people say to me, if there's ever a fire, I am just going to leave, Penny, I'm out of here. And I say, great, excellent, what if it's in the middle of the night, lightning striking your paddock and you wake up and it's already happening? So think about having that back up. What would I do if I couldn't enact my first preference? And importantly, down the bottom here, discuss your plan, test it, practice it. You'll find holes in it, and it'll get better and better and better the more you practice it. If you're going to have a leave early plan, and that certainly is always going to be the safest plan to choose, plan early if your horses need to be relocated. You may not need to relocate them. You might be able to access either within your property or on a neighbour's property, a nice open area with fewer trees and whatnot. Have a low fuel paddock certainly on your property, and if you can, if you live like me opposite Mount Crawford Forest with a couple of horses, choose another area to take them to the night before a bad day. Identify several routes out of your property. So during this year when we had some storms go through the area, my hubby and son, who are sea-first volleys, went to a call out of a tree down on the road at 4 in the morning. They took an hour to leave our house because every road they took had a tree on it. We had 5 roads out. They had to come back and get their chainsaw and cut their way out of our property, out along our road to actually get up to our local brigade and respond. I must admit, I thought at that time, boy, what if there was a fire going on right now? Decide which horses will stay and which will go. Do you have a 2-horse float and 3 horses? Who will load easily? Do they only load in a certain order? Will he only get on if she's already on? Could a stranger, your neighbour, perhaps come over and move your horse out of a paddock? Think about those kinds of things. During the Samson Flat Fire, I moved my horses. I forgot to tell the lady that my standee will not and should not eat a particular hay. She was actually sick for quite a while after that fire because she'd been given the wrong kind of hay. So we know from Victoria in 2009 that people who had a written and practiced bushfire survival plan generally fared better than those who didn't. So I can't stress enough that idea of writing things down, having a checklist to follow and letting everybody know about it. This 2009 Black Saturday, these people here, back here, I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's a 4-drive towing a horse float back there. Nobody in this photo survived, unfortunately. Don't leave too late. Your horses are relying on you. So getting ready for bushfires isn't too difficult. We are here to help. We have a program called Community Fire Safe. It's where we come out to your home and help you to repair your home and property from the impact of fire. We run it a little bit like a Tupperware party without the Tupperware. So if you can envisage inviting a few friends over, or it could be some people who are just horses at your property, or some people you know through a new mums group or whatever, invite 3 or 4 people around. We need a minimum of 6 adults to run a session, and we'll actually come out to your house and have a bit of a walk around, tell you how to prepare that home and property, incorporate your horses and any other pets that you have into your plan, and help you to actually write up a bushfire survival plan. So that's a free program. We generally run it all year round, so any time is fine. What we like doing is running this through winter and leading into the spring, so that you've actually got that time to prepare and do the jobs that you want to do if there's anything that you want to do around your home. We also do a bit of a street walk. We talk to the local CFS about local fire history, so what fire behaviour are you likely to see in the area as well. Make it very specific to you. All we basically need is a venue to use, so just a back veranda or a front porch, or a farm shed or something, and we bring everything else and do everything else. So if you do want one of those community fire safe groups, either give me a ring on my number there or my email. You can go to our website and there's a contact us tab up the top of our website. We also have a horses and bushfires fact sheet. I have to say this, here's one I prepared earlier. This I put together with Julie Fiedler's assistance. We actually worked on the one that came out of Black Saturday after 2009, and Julie and I worked on this quite extensively after Samson Flat and put a lot of the Samson Flat learnings into here. So this is on our website, the Horses and Bushfires fact sheet. I really recommend that if you're interested in more information that's specific to horses, that you go to that website and pull up that fact sheet. We do cover the whole state of South Australia with our community fire safe sessions, so wherever you live, we can get somebody out to assist you to prepare for bushfires. Again, either going through our website or give me an email or a call and I can put you onto the right person. Alright, thank you. I hope I didn't lose you along the way, because I have spoken very quickly, but Julie said I had 20 minutes and I've come in 2 minutes under. So I'm just going to check with Julie and see if she's got any questions. Okay, if anyone has got any questions, I'm here and ready to answer them. If you do think of questions later, as I said, you can contact me direct, you can contact Julie. Julie also has a whole heap of information on her Facebook page and website under Horse SA. A lot of really good emergency information there, not only about bushfires but also storms and flood and whatnot as well. So if you're looking for any of that information, the Horse SA website is worth looking at as well. I'm just going to check with Julie. Okay, all right, we're going to wrap that up. So thanks for joining in. I hope you've found this beneficial, and we'll catch up with you down the track. Thank you.